Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Despite poor power supply, Tinubu's government hints at further electricity tariff hike. Things keep getting tougher and tougher in this country. Things are getting more difficult in Nigeria. These people don't even plan on making things easier at all for the masses. Now, what is going on? Ban A is already too expensive. Now, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led government has hinted at plans to further increase the electricity tariff in Nigeria. And this development comes as the government says it can no longer afford to fund electricity subsidies from now on. This government was not paying electricity subsidies. There was never a time they were paying electricity subsidies. Even when the NLC were protesting for electricity subsidy, that electricity should be subsidized, the tariff rate should be reduced, nothing was done towards that effect. Now, the Minister of Power, Adebayo, was quoted as saying that citizens must pay the appropriate price for the energy consumed. The federal government will continue to provide targeted subsidies for the economically disadvantaged Nigerians, but we must realize that our economy cannot sustain bracket subsidies indefinitely. And the Minister of Power stated this at a meeting with the chairman of Generating Companies of Nigeria in Abuja. Although he said that the government plans to provide subsidies for the economically disadvantaged Nigerians, he, however, did not specify which groups will be classified as economically disadvantaged, because I can tell you that 97% of Nigerians are in an economically disadvantaged state. So the statement from the Special Advisor Strategic Communications and Media Relations to the Minister of Power, Mr. Bolaji Tunji, had further reviewed a planned meeting between President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the leadership of the power generation company over a 4 trillion debt. It was stated that the meeting would aim to reach a consensus on how to pay this debt owed to the GenCos. Now, earlier in February, it was reported that Tinubu disclosed an ongoing plans to further increase the electricity tariff. And according to President Tinubu's special advisor on energy, Olu, who reviewed this in an interview, he noted that the increased electricity tariff were necessary to support the maintenance and enhance reliability and attract private investment into power generation and transmission. However, to mitigate the impact on low-income households, subsidies would be required to balance the higher costs. So according to them, they noted that this would enable Nigeria to generate revenue to attract private capital while also protecting the poor and the vulnerable. But this has not helped Nigeria in any way. The organized labor, the NLC, the Trade Union Congress, TUC, protested and protested and protested over the government's decision to increase the electricity tariff for over 2 million customers in Band A. The labor unions took their protest to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, Transmission Company of Nigeria, and the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company headquarters. They were carrying power cards, they were protesting, they were telling the government that they should let the poor breathe, they should let Nigerians breathe, they should give people affordable and constant power. I mean, how much are we paying for light bill? The electricity tariff is on a high side, and it is not acceptable. And this rhetoric around the increased electricity tariff comes amid concerns over poor electricity supply in this country. It's not like we have constant 24-hour light supply. Even a viral video showed where this Facebook founder came to Nigeria, Mark Zuckerberg, and he was discussing with someone, and the light took, NEPA took the light. And it was a very embarrassing moment for Nigeria and Nigerians that a foreigner came to this country and they partook like the guy said he was scared. Mark Zuckerberg said he was scared because he thought that the Nigerian Yahoo guys wanted to hijack him. But they told him to relax. That's a normal thing in Nigeria. It's a norm, which is so embarrassing, which is so frustrating and unfortunate. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission data showed that the country recorded a decline in electricity generation in the fourth quarter of 2024. In 2024, the national grid was collapsing almost every month. The national grid must collapse, if not 2 times in a month, 3 times in a month. It keeps on collapsing. Every week we hear cases of national grid collapsing, and then not to talk of the increment in the electricity. And these increments have not even brought about any significant change. They've not been able to provide constant electricity for Nigerians with the constant grid collapse. How are they going to go about this? But they keep on, bringing in new bills despite poor supply. Look at what Tinubu did. How much he spent to install solar panels at the presidential villa. Although the money was on a high side, it was quite huge. We all knew that particular amount was padded. But imagine the presidency or at the presidential villa, they are using or relying on solar panels. What will be the fate of the average man? What will be the fate of common Nigerians who are left to pay huge electricity tariff without power supply, without constant power supply? So what's the essence of increasing this electricity tariff when you cannot provide constant electricity for Nigerians? And if they should continue this way, the electricity company should be prepared. NEPA should be prepared because Nigerians are going to bypass. They are going to bypass the meter. They are going to do everything possible to make sure they don't pay that bill because things are getting difficult for Nigerians. So if they are ready to increase the electricity tariff, then they should be ready to experience bypassing because a lot of Nigerians are not smiling. A lot of people are not smiling. So my country people, make una come chook mouth for this matter. This government has successfully shown us shege. When I mean shege, I mean premium shege. I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, like or share, subscribe. Thank you. Bye for now.